Is it raining up there, John?
A little bit. It's like sprinkling right now. Hey, Coco.
She just got a bone and she's really nervous about hiding it.
Mhm.
You'll probably hear her cry in a second.
What's that?
Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Christopher.
Hi, Donnie. It's the Gilbos.
Yay.
How are we doing in the chat and stuff? Let's see. How you guys doing today?
Pretty
Pretty
good. Waking up a little bit still, but good way to wake up.
That's what I am too. I'm waking up still too. It's kind of sleepy right now.
Yeah.
Can you hear Coco?
That's your boyfriend? Just
That's
kidding.
Coco. She's right here.
Hi, Coco. What's the matter, baby?
She's trying to hide her bone underneath me. Hey.
Is the chat room open up? Oh, here it is. It took a minute. Alrighty. Hi, guys. Alright. Well, I'll be right back and we'll get started. 1 second. Just want to say hi. Make sure you guys weren't insecure that I was doing a note.
What are you doing today, Savannah?
We're going to dinner with Nathan's parents because they just got back from Australia.
Cool.
So we're doing that around 5, and then had breakfast with Dad. Nathan's at work. That's pretty much it.
Nice.
Mailing you some packages.
Mailing me packages?
Yep.
Cool. What'd Coco get me?
You'll see. The surprise.
Is it like platters with like her paws?
No.
Pictures with like her paws.
No, I did grab you some stuff from work, though, because we're boxing up old samples.
Cool. Thanks. You always have.
Do you think you'll fit a large jacket?
Maybe. It might be big, but I don't know. Some of them are small.
Stuff, so figure it'd be okay.
Yeah, it should probably be okay, I think.
Hi, Kristen. Welcome.
Hi.
We're going to get started in just a minute. Christopher will be right back.
Feels like it's been so long since everyone's been in here.
I know, huh?
Everyone might have like a full class.
Feels like at least a month.
Mm-hmm. Usually that's almost been a year, though.
Yeah.
I think 2 more classes and it'll be a year.
Really?
Already?
Uh-huh. We started, we'll have probably one in Aquarius and one in Pisces, and then started in Aries.
Johnny, is that a new tattoo on your hand, or have you had it and I haven't seen it?
The big one I've had, but the one on my finger, this one's newer.
Okay.
Yeah, the big ones I've had for a while.
Johnny, what does the one on your finger mean to you?
Which one? The newest one?
The triangle with the circle and then the thing in the circle.
Are you familiar with Harry Potter at all?
Not that intimately, but...
So it's the symbol for the Deathly Hallows. Should look
Is
it
it
up.
really?
Yeah. But to me, it's kind of like light and dark magic. I'm considering getting another one on my other finger that's not filled in. Just to go with the duality of my tattoo themes of light and dark and heaven and hell, good and evil, and things like that.
Well, it's really interesting. I was in Hawaii and we were doing these light ray activations, etc. And when I had mine, the portal that opened for me was almost exactly the same, except it was a cat eye in the middle.
Okay. Crazy.
And dolphins came through. and it was this dolphin energy that initiated me, and they were all swimming around, but it's like the same shape.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really cool.
Anybody make any New Year's resolutions that they broke already?
I haven't made any at all, Mary.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I try to stay away from that because I know my other yearly habits, it lasts maybe a month, if that.
Alrighty. Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up?
What's up? How are you? How's the weather? Where are you today? In Venice?
I'm in Asheville.
Oh, North Carolina. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you move out there? Or
I
you already
did. I'm
there?
here for good.
What's that?
I said, yeah, it's been 6 months so far.
Oh yeah. Wow.
A really busy 6 months.
And I heard Johnny talking about Chicago, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. So I had a layover there for like 4 hours, and I wasn't supposed to go there, but my flight got rescheduled, and I ended up having a layover. And my buddy picked me up when we were driving around, and I was telling Mary I had butterflies in my stomach for like 4 hours while I was there.
Hmm.
Oh,
Never
no.
felt that about anywhere. So, Savannah, I might move to Chicago down the road somewhere, sometime.
All right.
So,
Probably safer than San Francisco in the end.
yeah.
I mean, as far as long-term, Chicago will be around for a long time.
Mhm.
It'll probably be found after after the nuclear war. That'll be one of the cities that's gutted out. You know what I mean? Like still standing.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the nuclear war, but I'm just saying it would be because they built everything underground in Chicago. It's pretty crazy. So, hello everyone. Nice to make your acquaintance in the new year. We kind of passed last weekend because things were a little crazy, and the energies really haven't settled, I would say, in 2016. Just looking at being an astrologer and following the vibration, I would say that everything is extremely unsettled, and I think that is for a major reconstruction of reality. Basically, Jupiter is retrograding, and so what you're going to see here in the next 4 months is people shift direction, shift lanes. The truth is that people probably shift lanes inside, just like just like Johnny has got this clue of Chicago. See, that's a lane shift. And so now what's happening is people in the Capricorn energy are making decisions for the lane shift. And I actually think, looking ahead, I just did the 12 days of New Year's, which today was the 12th day finally. And so I've reviewed the whole year, as you well know from your text messages. And now that I've reviewed the whole year with a microcomb, it seems like this entire year is about switching lanes. The entire year. Even though we feel like we've switched them, it takes a full year to actually get into the new traffic. And you can see that with our country and the presidents. It'll be till the end of the year that the country knows who's running the country. And that's kind of the whole state of the union for everyone. I think everyone is going to be in pursuit of a new sense of control, or a new sense of running their life with Capricorn, but I think it'll actually take a full year to get there. So you might want to plan that in your manifestations, that the life change will take about a year. Give yourself a year from this point to change your life if you're deciding to change your life. Is anyone here deciding to change your life?
Yes.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Well, this is the year to do it. If you want to change your life, or any of your clients want to change your life, I would say this is the year to do it. Like Jupiter in Virgo retrograde for the next 4 months is going to be the redeciding of what do we want, how will the details work out now. And I would say that there's still some more details to be worked out in Aquarius. So people pick a direction in Capricorn, and then people like fine tune the exact location of where they end up wanting to be in Aquarius. So this retrograde lasts for another couple weeks, and most of this retrograde, I think, is about people getting their mind around their own truth. Like, well, I really think I might end up being in Chicago, or I really think this might happen. and just getting their mind around it, and then I think at the very, really it's this weekend that people are actually making a decision, but they're still getting their mind around it until the end of January, and then I think we aim for where we want to be in Aquarius. So Aquarius will be kind of weird and sparkly, and then in Pisces, there's 2 eclipses. There's a solar and there's a lunar this year. Both happen in March, I believe. Let me pull it up. Hold on, 2016. 1 second, so I get the exact dates. March 8th and 9th. Total solar eclipse in Pisces, total solar eclipse in Virgo at the end of the year. So this is like, the way I look at that is the solar eclipse in Pisces is actually all the crazy forgiveness and forgetting that has to happen for people to change their life. So if people decide to change their life, there's a lot of letting go. People think they've let go, but they actually haven't let go. They've let go in their mind, and they've decided to do stuff, but then they actually start to go do it, and then they're suddenly like torn with stuff that holds them back. So it's a super, I think this Easter will be a very whiny Easter. A lot of people are going to be really kind of, people who don't understand the energies are going to be upset. You could even say there's a lot of trauma. You could say it's very spiritual and very sad for people, because a lot of people who aren't taking action in their life are on the receiving end of people who do. And so they're like, oh, this is happening to me, that sort of thing. But Pisces is very much a big spiritual healing, but a lot of things come tumbling down that month. And what comes tumbling down are all the false hopes and false dreams that people thought would happen that won't. So, you know, I'm not sure when the primaries are, but they're right after. I think we know who's going to run for president right after that. So, you know, either Bernie or Hillary will be sad. One of the two, right? And I bring all this up for your manifestation because, you know, we're almost complete with this little seminar class. It's been good for me to walk through the whole year and understand how the energies work. And this month we're in step 9. So basically we have step 9, step 10, step 11. 3 months left. And these 3 months really are the, these months kind of blur together as far as steps are concerned. We've talked about how steps blur together. And steps 9, 10, 11 do tend to blur together. And I'll explain why today. But we're going to focus mostly on step 9 today because we're in the action step. And I guess to compare it to what I'm seeing in the whole year, it's like as the class, as our group takes action on their projects, which is what our step 9 month is, it's at the same time that we're making major decisions for our year in Capricorn. So that's good. That alignment is good. And obviously you want to coordinate them, right? So for me, for instance, it's like a lot of I'm having a lot of changes going on in my life too that have nothing to do with my project. A lot of lifestyle changes, a lot of how I'm living, where I'm living, who I'm going to be living with and teaming up with. Like, so I'm already seeing a lot of legitimate decision changes as a result of really what I want to do with my project, but I'm having to make major lifestyle changes now. So I guess as I'm saying to you is the first thing to know is this is the month to take action, and I'd say one of the first actions to take is to plan out and decide what changes need to happen in this changing reality for your project to keep manifesting. Like what changes need to happen. So I'm saying you need to hold space now for the rest of the project. And as you're making decisions for your life, you need to hold space and make sure your project is in alignment. Now, most people's projects would be, but this is a time where I will say to anyone who's maybe not in the front row who watches every week, if you were to like stop your project now to go do something, it would end. So I just want people to be very clear. If you don't sustain over this Capricorn Aquarius hump, it will go away. It has a lot to do with just there's so much energy going on of other people starting new things that you want to be very clear on what you're doing as the whole society is changing gears right here and make sure your project is included and what you're doing is included. If you're doing the right project, it'll probably all fall in the perfect synastry anyways. But it's kind of I've seen people put things down, like, oh, I'm gonna put this down for now, and I'll pick it up later. I'm just saying, if you put it down now, you probably won't pick it up for 5 years. Like, there's just so much momentum is going to be blowing forward on Earth, and so much change. And I think no matter who gets elected president, the rest of the country is ready to fight that person. So this country is getting more and more intense, and they're getting more and more railroaded towards this Capricorn issue. So let's talk action today. I have a lot to talk about action. Action is my favorite thing to do. As far as all the 11 steps to serious joy, my favorite is step 9. I hate sitting and waiting for steps to happen. That's just my thing. I'm extremely impatient. And so I cannot wait to get to step 9. I think I said this in class. I think it's ironic that Arises have no patience, and they're meant to be the 9th. And that's kind of the weird thing about step 9. Step 9 is that you feel when and again, let's just review a little bit. My notion is that human consciousness will divide manifestation into the 11 steps of serious joy. They will divide manifestation into that. So if you take a year to do something, it'll divide those 12 steps by a month. It just pretty much by a month. So these steps fall into our consciousness. If you were at home and you were planning a wedding, you would eventually get to step 9. And step 9 is, okay, I got to do a bunch of things. I got to act. I got to put this into action. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of acting before steps 0 through 8 are complete. So this is the review. If you haven't protected your project, if you're not in love with it, if you don't still feel it, if you don't still believe in it, which is possible you don't believe in it because Sag is in Sagittarius now and a lot of people's beliefs are changed, so you may not still believe in it anymore. It's a good litmus test. If you belong attached to it and you feel like it belongs in the world somewhere, which it does if your heart's there, if you connect to it, if it's easy to understand, all the intellect, if it's easy going, easy to receive, you're going to be able to receive from this project. You're not just going to give. If God hasn't warned you, and if you've committed to it, step 8, then you should act. Okay, you should act. Now, when it comes to action, there's 3 levels of action, as you know from class. There is step 9, there is step 18, and there is step 27. So there's 3 levels of action, and there's always 3 dimensions of every state of awareness. So 9, 18, and 27 are the action steps. And it's been my understanding that when I take action, especially formal action meaning we're going to go to the courthouse, we're going to sign this thing. Formal action is, ritualistic formal action is extremely important too, and I'm going to talk about that today. Because God has a safety mechanism in reality that if you don't act on it, it won't happen. You have to do some sort of action. That's why witches have to burn something. There has to be an action. You have to put the energy into motion, like pushing a cart and getting it started. So action is very important. I would say if you fail to take action, your project will not take off. That's obvious. But at this stage in the month, my point is because you've been with me for 9 months, your mind thinks this is step 9. That's my whole theory in this whole thing, is that the mind automatically knows that action is coming. The mind already knows that we've got to do a lot of things coming up. Once you've made your decision, the mind already intuitively knows by the 11 steps that there's an action coming next, right? Now, the thing about action, like I said, is there tends to be a sense of impatience with action. You're just you don't know when to act. And that's what I want to, give you some philosophy for today. This will apply to everything in your life as far as I'm concerned. Most people screw things up on the action, for the record. They're just not prepared for one, or they don't protect their action for another, or they don't use the appropriate form of action for the right step. And that's what I want to talk about. So first, when it comes to action, you want to get your first level actions out of the way always, your first dimensional actions, your step 9 actions, and this is always what I call your low-hanging fruit. Okay. Now, because 9s, when you're making something happen, let's say I'm going to start a war. Let's say I'm going to start a film campaign. Let's say I'm going to start anything. I'm going to start anything in life. I think the universe is saying this is the best way to do it. And that is that you handle it in dimensions as far as what you cue, And I think this comes naturally. I mean, this comes naturally in kind of thinking, we send in the soldiers, then we send in the tanks, then we send in the, we already think in those kind of terms. but I don't know if you think in those terms in your daily course of life. So the terms are, first, step 9 are all the actions that involve survival, right? So the first thing we clear when we're taking action on our projects are all of the rudimentary actions. You want to take all the rudimentary actions first. So a lot of people will like buy business cards before they've found a logo. And so they're doing the complex actions before they're doing the simple actions. So this is just like life coaching 101. Pick the low-hanging fruit. Every life coach that I know will tell you that, and there's a reason for it. The reason is that the actions at this level, all the bottom level actions in your consciousness, these all have a threat, a consequence. Okay? These are all consequential actions. So if you don't clear all your consequential actions, then the finite and important actions become disturbed with the nervousness of the consequential actions. That makes sense. So if you don't clear your consequential actions, then you're really afraid to like pour the wine and not spill up here, because you are still afraid that the door's not locked down here. All right. So the thing about action is it is energy in motion. And what I've taught you with the dimensions and the 11 steps of serious joy is that energy has a spectrum within itself in motion. So you could say that the I am consciousness is 30 degrees wide, and the first chapter of it is ruled by 9, the second chapter of it is ruled by 18, and the third chapter of action is ruled by 27. And we're talking about energy and motion, right? So as a Taurus, I used to term this as spinning my plates, and people would say, you've got too many plates spinning. And I'd be like, you don't understand how reality works. You got to spin plates, You got to get a lot of things going, and you don't know if they're all going to turn out. Well, that's kind of how it works when you're gearing up a war or you're taking action with a project. You get all of your low-hanging fruit actions taken care of. You get all of your survival actions taken care of. And this is like a no-brainer in the sense of like you got to turn on the rent, you got to turn on the water, you got to turn on all the fundamental stuff to get the production going. So it makes sense. But there's also a lot of repetitive tasks usually to getting a project started, and that's the other thing about the first dimension. You want to go ahead and get all of your repetitive tasks started. So if there's going to be a routine where you're doing something every day, if there's going to be if you're going to be a playwright and you're manifesting your own play, and and you need to edit every day, go ahead and start that process of editing every day, getting those routines down. What you're doing is you're getting basically your bass notes going of your orchestra. Boom, 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 boom. These bass notes of action keep these other big notes from falling. So if you were manifesting, well, let's just use Johnny because he's on my brain right now because he's talked about my hometown, Chicago. So it's like Johnny's manifesting a light worker, life coaching, health, really fitness coaching business. So I would say that in step 9, Johnny, it's like if you're always going to like go out and if part of your ritual is going to be to meet new people in the neighborhood to try to get clients, if part of your ritual is going to be that you always go pop into the gyms, if part of your ritual is going to be whatever your rituals are that keep your business going, you go ahead and start those rituals now and get those base rituals going. Even if you are not ready to do a certain base ritual, you should, in your head, you should be like, well, normally when we're in full swing, I would be doing this right now. So basically, in the step 9 month, you want to get moving with your day-to-day activities, and you want to put into motion what your day-to-day activities will be when your project manifests. So this is literally where it's like you want to be what you want to come. You want to be what you want to come. This is the beginning of being what you want to come. Now you're not in full integrity step 11 of being what you want to come. You're not loving and trusting the whole thing's going to work out when you be what you want to come. You're just getting it. We're just getting it started. But in the step 9 month, God has a saying in the conversation with God. It's like if you want to go to Seattle, you don't drive towards San Diego. It's like you reach a point where any contrary action will screw up your manifestation. So if you're trying to, manifest, if you're trying to manifest perfect health or a certain, weight loss or a certain, diet gain or diet, fitness goal, and you cheat in step 9 month, you just fuck the whole thing up because you built this momentum of manifestation, and then you start your habit with cheating, right? I think humans already understand the 11 steps, and it's like they already, so it's like if you start a relationship cheating, it's not going to work. If you start anything on the wrong foot, it's not going to work. And so this is literally that proof in the consciousness that if you start off on the wrong foot, you're better off stopping and starting again. So I would say pick all of your low-hanging fruit, take all of your actions that you can take, get all the actions out of the way that you can get out of the way, and get something in motion. Okay? Now, this in motion is actually the fundament of manifestation. I've learned that you must have energy in motion to make things happen. It cannot be sitting still in your head. So this is where the secret lied. You can't look at you cannot just stare at a vision board and it'll come. That's a lie. Something has to be put into motion. You got to get the cauldron boiling, basically, with water. So we get stuff in motion. Then we move into chapter 2, which is the 18-degree. I decide. I decide. I am. I act. I am. And basically, this is where you want to begin. Basically, we want to beta test. You're putting together in 9. 9 is the final assembly. The second chapter is the final assembly of whatever it is you're creating. So, if there's a house to be built, if there's a now this is where space-time gets distorted, because you could stay on step 9, chapter 2 till June, even though we planned this for 12 months. Like, it may take 5 months to build your thing. It may take 7 months to build a website. It may take, so by the time you're ready to build step 9, technically step 9 in your mind has to be until it's done being built, until it's done being step 10, until you're ready to hold together. Now, if some people are trying to manifest the building of something, then step 9 is you're taking action, getting phone calls to get the funding, phone calls to get the funding, phone calls. So it's just all this action to like raise the capital. But you basically stay in chapter 2 of step 9 until you decide it's ready. 18. You're like, okay, we're ready. And what is that decision? That decision is just like the 11 Steps of Serious Joy, but it's at 18. You're saying the project is got love, it's protected, I feel it. The project has got belief, support. The project. I decide the project is in integrity. I decide it's in integrity. I decide it's ready to go. So this first dimension of action is really about starting action and never stopping. Getting like getting like a routine going and getting that bass note spinning of your project. By the way, this bass note in the first dimension, when you are checking in on the gyms every month, even though you don't have a business, or for me, it's like when you're doing that bass note stuff, you're actually keeping the project going by doing just the bass note stuff. Okay, because everyone hears about it, everyone hears Johnny's working on it, and here's Johnny again, and so it's like when so if you aren't ready to decide, keep your base stuff going. Just keep the project going. Hello, yes, one day we're going to do this. Oh yeah, we're getting ready. And so you can keep this part going for a long time. The truth is I kept the first dimension of what I'm doing going for like 4 years on the internet. It was just like this, and I was just happy to get all this energy up and spinning. I was like, whoa, I didn't know what I was doing with it. But it's people's consciousness showing up watching my show, so they tell people. So it starts to become electric. It starts to become alive on its own, what you're manifesting. And you can kind of stay in that stage for quite a while, and I want to let you know, you don't screw anything up. If you just keep the energy going and everyone excited about it or whatever and just keep it going, it's officially waiting for you. You can keep it in that sleep containment of spinning. I've never, like I said, years. But then there's a point when you build it. So technically, I actually was in, if you want to know my total dreams and manifestation, the bigger scale of it, it's like I was in step 9, first chapter, for 2 years building Serious Joy. So I hit all the way up like, okay, let's go. And we start building Serious Joy. Meanwhile, I'm keeping Act 1 going, which is the beta system and the proof that the business works and the show's going. And so I'm keeping all this business going. Meanwhile, the team forms here to start programming and building the actual expensive stuff. And this takes us almost 2 years to do. Well, I'm just like keeping the excitement going for the whole project, right? And we're just about built. So we're about to go to step 3 of action now. But basically, to complete step 2, or chapter 2, when taking action in chapter 2, what you're doing is you're getting the army ready. So the editor, the this, the that, the this, the that. And a lot of it's when things happen. So I want you guys to know that, like, if you're going to plan a move, if you're going to plan anything, you're keeping these bottles spinning, okay, these plates spinning, and you're planning. When the money comes, I'm going to do this. When the money comes, I'm going to do this. When the money comes, I'm going to do this. When the money comes, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. If you don't tell God everything you're going to do when the money comes, the money doesn't come. That's my experience. Literally, you don't get the check unless you've done it, you know. And it's not even a judgment thing. It's how it works, you know, just so you know. Like, if you don't, a lot of times I have been held up by resources because I did not have it clear of what I would do with the resource. So basically, I'm saying, God, give me resources, and I'm not telling God the for. Well, what are you going to do with that? Where does that resource belong? Why do you even need that? How are you going to use that? So it's missing that I belong step. And a lot of the I belong step comes from the planning of your actions. So the chapter 2 of step 9 is when they make the production budget. It's like, okay, here's the budget. We're going to need this crew for this long time, this, you know. Basically, it's your plan of action. So, and you do beta tests. So if you're going to do a beta test, it's in chapter 2. Like, does this work? Oh, I'll take it down. Does this work? Oh, take it down. So your false starts. One could argue that Elon Musk is in stage 2 with his rocket development for Mars. You know, he's in chapter 2 of step 9. They are trying to make it happen, and the rockets come down, they break, they come down, they work, they come down, and they're going to stay in this trying to get proficient at making it work, okay? You basically come to a point where you decide the system is ready. You decide it's ready for launch. You decide it's ready it's go time, all right? And this is where, you know, again, space-time gets a little distorted in manifestation because people can be at step 18 and they can wait. That's a weird one. As long as you keep the plate spinning, you can stay at step 8. You can keep the whole damn army on hold as long as you want, as long as this plate's spinning, as long as this. So you have everything ready to go and you have plates spinning. You could procrastinate the next step until you saw the right astrology, until it was the right timing. And that's really what step 27 is, okay? Step 27 is timing. When? When do I do it? So it's like, I've got everything ready. I'm going to ask her to marry me. I got all the things in place. I've got the guy that's going to jump out of the plane and the skywrite and all this shit. But when do I do it? When do I pop the question? When do I ask her? Right? Like, and that is step 27. And this is where a lot of people screw up too. A lot of people screw up on step 27. And the reason is because they are not listening to the 2 and they're not listening to the 7. And that's the essence of master actor. A master actor is waiting for the force to tell them. They are told when to go. They're told when it's time. And it kind of keeps the idiots from manifesting big things. You know, if you don't have enough sense to listen to God and listen to the universe, and if you're not willing to listen to the entire God creation before you put your volleyball into the system, then you don't necessarily deserve to have it work, as far as I'm concerned. You know, and so that's kind of what it is. So this is like, you know, when someone's trying to get into, like, you know, in jump rope. You remember jump rope when we were kids, and like, you know, and all the black girls would do it so damn good. I want to be like a black girl. It's a little secret of mine. I want to be able to jump rope like the black girls. Like, they could just always do it like so perfect. I was like, how do you do that? But remember, like in jump rope, it's like, you know, Chris and Baba kissing a tree, K-I-S. And so this person on this side is like, oh, trying to get in. Like you're waiting for your time to get in, you know? And that's pretty much what, and then you're like, oh, you did it. And then, you know, you can jump with each other. But there's this moment of like, oh, when do I get in so I don't get slapped in the face with a rope and made fun of on the classroom, you know, on the playground. And it comes down to, you know, human beings enter into that step 27, I think, in that moment. I think they're in step 27. They're feeling their body. Like, is my body, like, can we do this? Are we going to jump when I tell myself to? Like, they're kind of, you're in your body, and you're waiting for something outside of you to tell you to go. You're waiting for that 7. Go, go. Right? You're waiting for it. And that is on your mark, get set, go. 27 is on your mark, get set, go. If you want to know. It's like, that's on your mark. I feel it. Get set. 7, I'm listening. Go. That's the message from God or whatever the universe. It's time to go. So once you're in chapter 1 spinning, chapter 2 decide ready, then you wait for your cue to go. Now the cue is usually pretty obvious, but there is definitely a formula to know if it's correct or not. And the cue is, it feels right, and I sense that it's right. Those two things. So this takes some discernment in oneself, because you really have to separate the states of awareness to be clear that God's telling you to go, and your heart isn't telling you what you want to hear. Does that make sense? So it's like, I think God's telling me to go. Of course I'm excited, and I want to go right now, and I wish it was already yesterday. So there's I think a lot of the mastery of step 9 action is that you have to master your relationship to yourself and calm yourself down. So in 27, the 2 is most important, I think, because if the 2 isn't calm, you won't hear the 7. So do not take act when you're going to do a master action, like you're just going to decide to get a divorce, or you decide to do something super big, or you're going to go ahead and pull it, like you got to go ahead and serve your ex-wife, like, or whatever, that crazy moment where you're like, oh God, this is just going to be nuts, okay? You know, basically it comes down to that. And even, you know, like when people are going to get married or they're going to sign a mortgage, it's like, okay, let's sign it. You're locked for 30 years, sign it. You're just like, okay. And this is what I think the ritual is, no matter what you're going to do for that 27. Don't even show up for the event if you're not feeling 100%. That's my first bit of advice. So that would mean it's like, well, I'm getting married, I have to. You didn't actually make the commitment that day. You made the commitment a long time ago, so you shouldn't have anything to worry about. But when you're going to make the commitment of anything to act, you have to be in spiritual shape, grounded, and in touch with yourself. Now, a lot of times when people are making important actions, they already intuitively know this. They already get a night's sleep, and they already, you know, get their shift together before they make the important action. But some people who don't manage their emotions very well, when they have a big action coming, they get more and more and more nervous, right? And so a lot of my clients don't act because they screw up the 2 and the 27. That 2 of emotion starts to get really big and turn into like a purple blueberry, like from Willy Wonka. And so they emotionally just start getting more and more and more and more worried that it's not going to go right. Now, that is the absolute wrong thing to do, because if you're sitting on the cliff wanting to know when to go, and you've got all this emotional energy that's unsettled, which is like electricity, first of all, your law of attracting just as crazy, nervous Betty people for that action. The people you attract, so if you're going to sky jump or you're going to do something crazy, the people you're with are feeling the same way you are. That's the way God made it. So you're putting yourself in danger, and you're putting yourself, you're about to take action wrongly charged for the event, and you're going to bring in wrong situations. So a lot of people screw things up because they're nervous, and they would say, oh my God, it's just like I thought, something went wrong. Of course something went wrong. You had this gigantic balloon of electrical, emotional energy worried about something going wrong. You got exactly what you wanted when you jumped into that fire. Something went wrong. You know, and it was all at that point odds of manifestation and creativity. So you absolutely have to ground the 2 if you are going to do anything. You have to be like a spiritual athlete. You have to be, you know, ready for battle and feel really good about yourself. and tune everyone else's emotions out. That's the other part I'll put in here, is that because you're emotionally charged, okay, you have to not pay attention to anyone else's emotions when you're about to take that 27 action. Now, when you're about to enter into a step 22 arena, like crazy wild sex behind Quickie Mart or just something crazy bonkers, you also have to do the same thing. You have to certify your 2. If you don't get your emotions, if you're going to go jump and make love to the universe, you better keep your 2 in a 0, like completely protected, because people lose themselves in that blend of emotion. When you're taking action, quadruply so. What you focus on, they say in baseball, keep your eye on the ball. In reality, keep your eye on yourself. You always keep an eye on yourself. You always keep an eye on your own feelings. Am I hitting her too hard? I don't even know where that came from, hitting her. Am I hitting her too hard? This was some lesbian I'm channeling. Am I hitting her too hard? Well, your heart tells you if you're hitting her too hard. You know what I mean? In the roller rink or whatever, the roller derby. In action of performance, once you jump in and you start performing, whether that performance is dance or boxing or race car driving or anything where you're taking crazy action and you're performing, you keep your eye on your feelings. Your body tells you you're off. Your body tells you this. Your body tells you everything. If you focus on their feelings or the stimulus outside of you before you'll eventually spill. Okay? And so the masters who pull off amazing things, like Michael Phelps, amazing swimmer, push the envelope. In Pluto Scorpio generation, push the envelope, the most gold winner ever. People who break these records with their actions do it because when they're in the water, they're thinking one thing: them. It's not gold, it's them. All right. So that's the 2. You got to be hyper aware of the 2. The last thing I'll say with the hyper awareness of the 2 is you got to do some meditation before you get into the arena or take a major action, because the 7 is active when you're in play. So if the 2 is polluted, or the 2 is you don't know, it's like if you're uncertain about this, if there's a question of uncertainty, if there's any uncertainties here, any questions, then your 7 is going to answer that question. It's not going to serve as radar for the event. So if you're like, I don't know this and I know this, okay, I'm going into the roller rink. Well, now your intuition is answering these questions. It's fulfilling whatever is in the 2. And what should be in the 2 is, I feel this, I feel great, I feel like I belong somewhere else. That's what the 2 should be. And 7 would be like, okay, where is that? Where is that where he feels? 7 is sensing around, and that's what it is. 7 is looking for that moment when there's a connection, and it's meant to happen. So if the 2's polluted, if you've got unresolved emotional issues, whatever, you're not ready for play. You're going to law of attract the wrong thing. You're going to drop the ball. You're going to go too far. You're going to lose touch with yourself. Any of the above. That's why everything above 22 is a master. Like, not many people pull it off, and they don't pull it off every day. It's a big deal to get all of yourself going and produce something. It gives a lot of respect to artists and stage and whatnot when you realize how much energy goes into pulling off a performance or something. So we're in, let's see, the second week in January. Technically, Act 9 was, I think 9 is our January class. So we did 8 for December, yes. 9 is we're taking action. And what I was saying is that, once you take action and you jump, and you feel it, you sense it, and you act, you're suddenly in play. So as soon as you complete 9, 10 begins. Just like as soon as you complete 4, 5 arrives. So it's like, oh, I know where I belong. Boom, 5 labels it. It's an instant. Okay. 9, 10 is the same thing. As soon as you have action and contact and your project's moving forward, you're in step 10. And like I said, and you have to decide when it's all acting. So that would mean we're in full production. So step 18 is, are we ready to act? Yes or no? Yes, we are ready. The 3rd chapter is, all right, let's do it. And so, like I said, this whole chapter of moving in action, this can be a variable amount of time. It could take a long time to produce the set, and produce everything to make the film. And then when we actually shoot the film, it could take a long time to actually shoot the film or pour the cement or whatever. And we move into this step 10. Now, step 10 is basically the step when things manifest, when things come together, right? So kind of depends on the projects. Like, what would you call a film of things coming together? When they built the set, things are coming together? No, not in the film's case. In the film's case, things come together when they actually shoot the film, right? So the coming together part is relative to the project. Like, if you really want to get super anal, it's like we built the set, and the set went through 0 through 11 steps of Serious Joy. We built this, and it went through 0 through 11. We built this, and went through 0 through 11. Then we took all these things, and we put them into action, and then we had to build this, right? So the truth is that you have manifestations within manifestations within manifestations. That's how God does it. And they're all different stages, and they're all different steps of their development, but it all seems to magically come together in the end, right? When things are coming together, when things are assembling into step 10, I'm going to just breach into that in this class, but we'll go way into that in next class, into step 10. And I have as much to say about step 10 as I have step 9, because I love steps 9 and 10. Those are my favorite steps. Let's do it and let's make it. Let's do it, let's make it. Let's do it, let's make it. Like, that's what I'm fun. That's the fun part for me. But basically, once you start assembling it, there is the 2 states you have to honor. I love and I protect 10. So until it's built and in integrity 11, you love and protect. All right? Until it's in integrity. That means, and this is what a good, anyone who's a good wizard knows this. It's like, if the film comes back rotten, I don't get worried. I send it back. We do it again. If the soup comes back rotten, I don't worry. I send it back. I do it again. A manifester stays at step 10 until it's right till step 11. All right? It's the love and the protection. All right? So the point is a lot of people can't do this stage where they can keep themselves at 10 steps and love and protect, love and protect, love and protect. Oh, but we ran out of power. I'm still loving and protecting. Oh, but we ran out of food. I'm still loving and protecting. Oh, this went wrong. I'm still loving and protecting. I'm still loving and protecting. You have to be the mama bear. And you have to be calm, like, this all fine. It's going to be fine, because I know it. Now, the truth is, as a wizard, I don't know it's going to be fine. I'm not lying, but I am telling them how I want them to take it. It's like, I'm putting out their love and protection and holding spaces, I like to say as a Taurus, for the project to manifest. So as soon as you take action, it's love and protect, love and protect, love and protect, and protect turns into trust after you protected. So after you have locked the doors, after you have signed the checks, after you've done everything you can to actually protect the project, then that 0 turns into trust. I'm trusting, I'm trusting, I'm trusting, I'm trusting, I'm trusting. And in essence, you want to stay in this love and trust mode until every piece of the project falls into place. Okay? And we don't go to step 11 where we criticize it. We don't go to step 11 where we become it. Becoming it is like you open the curtains and you go live. We don't do any of that until every piece is in place. So what I want to make sure to get to you guys, in this month, if you're taking action moving forward with your life, is these 3 stages of action that you want to, get things spinning up, keep your bottom spinning, get this ready, and be clear on your decision. And that could happen in 3 days. It could happen in a week. I mean, you can go through those stages, like I said, any amount of time. But then between now and when I see you, if you are manifesting something, you'll probably be in step 10 mode by the next time I see you. And my point is to be patient, to keep loving your project, to keep trusting it, to keep protecting it. That step 10 phase can last a very long time as well. And that step 11 of when it becomes can be very long, and it can be very short too, just for the record. So all the steps through step 8 kind of have this regular walking by your footsteps, kind of regular pace. And then once we get to 9, it's like, depends on the project. Completely depends on the project. 10 is the same thing. Depends on the project. It takes 9 months to manifest a film. So a film will go to shoot, take action. So a film will go to step 27 and actually start shooting Usually they'll shoot for 3 months to 4 months. Special effects probably started 3 months earlier. And they will be in step 10 mode of putting that film together for a full year. Marketing, everything. Just all these step 10 things. Until it's all correct. And everything's in integrity. And then at that point, they decide to release it. So, same thing with you. A lot of people lose faith in step 10. They give up too soon. They don't love and protect it. A lot of people don't protect their projects. So it's like they let somebody come in and take away resources. They give up too soon. They don't give enough time. A lot of things with time is not. A lot of people go like, why does it take so much time? A lot of times you're waiting on people to grow. A lot of times you're waiting on people to change their minds, people to grow, people to realize. So you're waiting on people always, and so you can't give up on trusting things. The universe isn't saying no to you, and the world and God isn't saying no to you. It just takes time. It takes time for all these things to come, and the more complicated and more profound your manifestation is, the more time it's going to take actually to pull together. So this is where faith really plays in, and actually step 7 really helps. In step 10, I go to step 7 many times. I go back to step 7. I'll be like, God, this isn't a mistake, right? Like, this can really happen? Okay. So I'll do a lot of that. In step 10 of holding it, like, okay, I just got to trust it's going to happen. But that's, I think, where we're going to be. So coming full circle to the beginning of the class, this year is like a huge year of, I think people are changing their step 8s. So with Pluto and Capricorn at 15 degrees, it actually ends at 16 degrees, so Pluto only moves 1 degree this whole year. Okay, 1 degree, that's it. From 15 to 16. It does go higher, but it comes back, so it doesn't matter. So it kind of crusts away and comes back. So the big planets to always look at in a year are Saturn. We look at Neptune, but Neptune's so quiet, it's a whisperer. But Saturn and Pluto are the biggies. And looking at Saturn and Pluto, Saturn hits step 22. That's as high as it gets to step 22 Sag. So people will see a breakthrough in their beliefs, and they'll come back down. And Pluto gets to step 16. So people will end the year being open to new rules. Open to new. So honestly, I don't know, considering, because Pluto will be at 16, I would say that anyone old politically will probably not do well. It'll be a new idea, which is already true. Bernie and Trump are at the top. Human beings want new, and that's how we're going to end the year. So I say that to you because you're manifesting stuff. Make sure what you're manifesting is in your highest belief of what your heart believes. This is not a time to, you can put something on the griddle if you want to know if you really believe it or not, but don't expect success from that. You're asking if you believe it, not success. If you want success, you have to 100% believe it right now. And you'll likely end up riptiding and riding the wave of everyone else's beliefs expanding. You could literally, if you're going to introduce a new idea to culture, your success is literally it's spreading through the world because they're ready and ripe human beings to learn. So don't assume you know everything because of Saturn expanding, and expect to learn a lot as you go. Because this step 3 is in the 11 steps of serious joy, step 3 is a step that is a volatile step. It's changing all the time as we're trying to manifest. The other big thing is step 8, which is where we're at now in Capricorn. Because of Pluto, because we're changing the kind of decisions we make, because we're changing the way we go, and I think most people that come to this class already have revolutionary ideas about control and what they want to do. But you'd be surprised. A lot of my clients are still thinking old school when they go step 8. So it's like, okay, I'm a new light worker company, and I'm gonna save the world and help people in the light. But I'm going to go to Wells Fargo for a loan. So a lot of people are wanting to do great things, but then they're still step 8ing it. They're making their control decisions around the old power structure. So a lot of it is you have great intentions, but you can't build it on bullshit. So this step, what I'm saying is that because Pluto is opening up new doors in Capricorn, you better, if you want your project to thrive, make sure that in your step 8, all of your decisions are based on new power, not old power. Unless you plan to just feed off the old power for a minute, to get you to new power. But there's going to be collapsing systems, is what I'm saying. So make sure whatever you manifest is on the new system. So steps 3 and 8 are most volatile as you're manifesting this year. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I think that's a good place. Pluto directly on my moon. Well, the way you used to emotionally feel, Capricorn moons are typically kind of cold people. No offense, Kristen. And I think that Pluto on the moon is definitely the rebirth of your emotional life. But if it's already on your moon, it probably rebirthed a year ago.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while.
Like, you feel it when there's a 2-degree orb. Like, so
Yeah.
when Pluto is 2 degrees away from your moon, that's when you're feeling it.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah. And it's hard because Capricorn doesn't like emotion. Wants to decide it away, not deal with it. So that part of
it's
us
like
does.
half and half.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's really in its detriment there. So, but I imagine it's just new rules about emotions, just completely new rules.
Yeah.
The good news is it's done. It's done. If it's hit your moon, you're done. You're in the new land. Build the new stuff.
Thank God. It's been rough.
It's done.
Yeah.
That's one thing about a Pluto conjunction. By the time it hits a planet, it's done. It's not starting. It's done.
Yeah.
So when Pluto hits a planet, it's done. Just so you know. It pretty much is done at 2 degrees orb.
Okay.
Which is why America is at 27 Capricorn, but I think when Pluto hits 25, we're in the shitter. 2 degrees before. So I've been planning all of the warnings kind of a few degrees before actual return. So, does anyone else have any questions or insight, or Kristen, anything? What are you manifesting, Kristen, out there? You manifested a move. That's big.
Yeah, well, I got everything that I had been trying to manifest as a traveler. I got my new place and a new job and time and space, partners, work, romantically, friends. So I got everything, but I don't know what to do with it. So I'm working on manifesting my healing business, which encompasses a lot of different things. So I'm trying to just sit with all of this that I've manifested and play with my abilities and skills and let them blossom so I can put things in their place before I go forward.
You're a Virgo, right?
Virgo, yeah. 2-2.
So, yeah, Saturn's in your Saturn's in your solar 4th, so it's like Virgo's just had a full year of prosperity with Jupiter in your sign, so you basically it was an easy manifest year. Not that I'm not giving you credit, you get credit, but also you were definitely God's favorite this year.
Oh yeah.
With Jupiter
I
in your
definitely
sign.
had like a hand behind, like here's this.
Oh yeah, and you Virgos needed that because you guys are getting all mopey and sad and shit. And God needed to come give you presents because it was getting boring to be around you. I'm so glad you all got a whole year of because you're all happy again. I'm like, and you're fun to be around again. No offense, you were always fun, Kristen. You even showed up to class, I think, in a bikini, so you were fine. But the other Virgos were not liking it. But I think what happened is like, I think every Virgo went and over manifested. Like, as you Virgos tend to pig out on reality. And I actually think that you guys are going to have to make some cuts to see, cut away some of the bush to see what's left of the village. Anyway, and you're going to be left with like, oh, okay. But the other part of it I want to put down there is that the Saturn in the 4th, it's like really building the nest that will lay the golden egg.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, let's just get the whole. We're not sure. Basically, let's get the nursery ready. We're not sure when the baby's coming, but let's get the nursery ready.
Yeah, I need a house.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's my next big manifesting issue. I need a house to do this in.
Okay, cool. Well, and be open to also Like, you don't really need a house. You need a space that feels a certain way.
Correct.
So try to stay focused on those fundamental frequencies,
Okay.
and let God fill in some of the details. Because God be like, what about an abandoned hospital? Like, oh my God, like you know, it's like, oh my God, it's so cool in here. Like, okay, I'll live in an abandoned hospital. I don't mean house God. Like, so God sometimes has some really cool ideas that like you. So you just stay focused on like it's got to feel this way. It's got to have public parking. Like, stick to the core, but let the final, proper noun be named by universe.
Okay.
Because it might be a church. It might be something really cool property. I actually went to go see John Edwards' facilities, and what did he buy? It was like a funeral home or something. It was like he bought some old funeral home or something. No, it wasn't a funeral home. It was a preschool, but it looked like
Really?
a funeral home. Yeah, but it looked like a funeral home. They had transformed it into this big studio, and the vibration was good. But I was just like, what the hell was this? He's like, isn't it perfect? It was. I was like, wow, just the way it was built, the weird stuff it had in it. So you'd be surprised. You might end up inhabiting something that you didn't. That's not a house, but go for it. You have my prayers.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to comment or ask a question? Any of the Gilbos? What's the matter, Miss Gilbo? You look, Savannah. You look a little Libra stressed there.
Just thinking, not super stressed.
How's your boy?
Huh?
How's love? How's love going? Good.
Yeah, it's good. I was just thinking because Nathan is going through. He's a Sagittarius.
Mm.
So I was just kind of thinking about how that relates to him and about his life and what he's dealing with, and because I had my Saturn went through Libra, a couple years ago for me. So just thinking.
Mm-hmm. I think for Sages, it's about making money.
Yeah.
They need to make money right now to feel good about themselves. And because they're all theorists, they have to go actually make the money. A Taurus can like start to make a little money, and we're like, oh, we'll be fine. A Sag needs a lot more proof.
Yeah.
That it's not going to go away. And so every Sag I know they basically have to be a little shallow for a minute because they have to know that they're fertile. And then that's going to end the year. I was just writing about all the Sag rising stuff in the system, and Sages at the end of the year are going to have their first beta character of their new version of them. So they end the year with Boyfriend 2.0 will be in beta by the end of the year.
Works for me.
Okay.
I
Libra's
have
like, where do I upgrade?
I have my Saturn return coming too.
Woo! How's your Saturn return been?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm changing, but it's so like deep within me that I'm not really sure how to even identify what's going on.
Yeah. Actually, the identifying of what's going on is the return.
Yeah.
You're trying to decide. As soon as you decide, you've returned.
Yeah, because it's weird. I feel like I'm kind of about to come over the top of the cliff, but I'm just right on the edge right now. I'm not. I don't know. It's been interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think one of the lessons of Saturn return is, we don't go over the cliff. I don't know. You'll see. It's like you kind of there's this psychological feeling that something could just go terribly wrong at any minute before your Saturn return.
Totally.
Okay, you're just like something could go terribly wrong, and we could lose everything. When
Yeah.
Saturn returns, you're like, probably won't. Like you get to the stage, you're like, probably won't. Could, but I doubt it. And that's the Saturn so my point is like up until the return, you're like, oh my God, something amazing is gonna happen. Oh my God. And it's like what happens is you're like, we're actually fine.
Yeah. And it's funny because I totally feel that too. I keep waiting. I'm like, what's going to go wrong at work? What's going to go wrong here? Just waiting for something bad to happen, and nothing's really happening.
That's
If
the whole
anything, I
thing.
have a little bit more confidence than normal. Like I want to write a fantasy book. I just started
Ooh.
plotting it all out, and I've been kind of getting in a rhythm, and I'm surprised that it's not actually going as difficult as I thought it would. And then with work, I'm kind of keeping my options open because I'm not 100% happy, but I'm not unhappy. And normally I'd be so loyal that it would almost be to a fault, and now I'm kind of just I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting because I've never reacted that way to this kind of stuff. So.
I know you've always been super worried. Like you're always always worried about you looking worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations. So you're
Thanks.
it sounds like you're kind of in kind of like you're in step 9. You know,
Yeah.
making ready to make changes. It hasn't manifested yet. Sounds like you got all your chapter 1 stuff starting to spin.
Yeah. Feels like it.
Yeah. And you're in a good place by not letting things bounce off of you. There is a weird feeling of there is an eye of the storm when you switch channels. I will tell you guys that. Like when you actually change your life and it actually is changing, it's a very quiet, dead moment. If that makes sense. So like when the moment transpires where you win or whatever it is, you'll find that like space-time in that moment, or when you shift dimensions, you'll find that like space-time, it's almost like you're in a quiet room with yourself and there's nothing to do, there's nothing to say, there's nothing to know. You just have to wait. You just feel like you're in this weird waiting moment. And you can tell you're being told to wait. And basically, it's kind of like being in an airport. You're just like with your whole life for like, I don't know how long it lasts, this thing. For me, it's like maybe 10 days. Your whole life, you're just kind of like in an airport, just like, I know something's going to change in any second now, but I don't know what it is. And that's maybe step 10, you know, but I just want everyone to know, like when you shift dimensions, you definitely end up halfway between the two where you're like, is this right? Am I changing? Am I not changing? You don't know. You just can't tell. Like, and you're in this complete unknowingness. The first time I was in there, of course, I was like, oh, fuck, did I do this right? I mean, my mind was just like, oh, shit, oh, God, oh, shit, oh, God. And I think I was so, you know, frozen that I didn't touch anything and it pulled off. Then the next time I was manifesting something in that stage went, I'm like, oh, I recognize this weird feeling. You know, like, okay, well, the last time we felt like this, like, shit just happened anyway, so I'm just going to sit tight, you know, like, and this is the beginning of, now I realize it's what I call it's the Pluto field, the step 0 field. When you cross dimensions, you go through this eye of the storm. There's something energetically. I think in a tornado it's true, in everything it's true. In a black hole it's true. There is this 0 point energetic moment in the middle. And a lot of people panic then and screw up the spell. And just recognize there'll be a moment where you feel completely weird. But then it just passes, and most people are like, well, what was that? I don't know. And then you're on to the new life. Okay? So it sounds like you're kind of entering that weird eye of storm moment. Where you're just watching your life go by. It's like a movie. You're just like, well, this is my life? Like, and you find yourself as a passenger in your own life.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. So you're doing the right thing. Good job. Mary, do you have anything you want to say? 1 second. No worries. Take your time, honey bunny.
I had to take off my mute button. Not really. I think this, the knowing about these steps for initiating a project is going to help me physically attain what I want, because I know with step 9 that could go on for a while, and just keep it going and not expect everything like right now. And I'm one of those people, if it doesn't happen now, I'm forgetting about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm just saying, okay, this won't work. But I'm feeling good, especially since 9 could go around for a while, that I'll be okay. You know, just like you said, just plan and keep on expecting things to happen, but keep on letting that circle go around where you're being mama bear and realizing it's okay, things are fine, so you don't freak out when something doesn't happen right away.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Sometimes, that's a very good point, Mary. Sometimes the action is reassurance to yourself. Sometimes the right action to take is just to reassure yourself.
Right.
That was a very good point, yes. Yeah, and sometimes, and that's what I tell my dumbass, in the 27 step, and I'll let you continue, it's like, when you want to act, it's just like you said, like, you feel like you should be doing something now, And sometimes what I tell myself is, we are doing something. We're telling you not to do something. That's what I tell myself. I'm telling you not to do something. That's what we're doing. And then I'm like, okay, fine. We are taking some action. This is the crazy arguments I get. So good for you. And how are you rehabilitating?
Oh, wonderfully. I just got a long leg brace, and I wasn't sure it was going to work yesterday, but a lady came up with an idea to take a washcloth and put it behind my knee where the strap is, and that took away the pain when I stood on it. And a simple washcloth. Now they're going to make something more professional, but that made it happen versus not happening. And this lady was so professional about the whole thing. She had so much intelligence with the orthotics itself. I was so surprised. She said, I'm taking that washcloth home until you get something else, because this is going to be wonderful. It's making things happen.
Mary, what did you have done?
What, hon?
What did you have done?
Well, basically, I had a heart attack back in September and another in November, and they made I got muscular atrophy, which weakened a lot of my muscles. They were already weakened due to post-polio. And I haven't walked in 6 years, but I didn't expect, being up on the parallel bars and exercising and doing all this stuff, that I would ever walk again.
Nice job.
And I am going to be. It's just a matter of time.
Nice.
Yay.
That's awesome,
That's
Mary.
really amazing.
Keep going, girl.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
know, and I'm bitching about manifesting a talk show, and she's walking. Like, I need to get my perspective in place. You know?
When we have any next show or anything, when it happens, I'm going to show my crutches and say, yeah, I'm out there.
Yeah, you're going to be like Franklin
And you
Delano.
can kick everyone in the butt you want to.
Yeah, I know. Wonderful.
I'll be your Franklin Delano's son, where I'll walk next to you to help you stay steady. So it looks like you're walking real. I'll be that dude. Like his son would like tie his leg to his father and help him walk. That was so sweet.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so sweet when they're. Well, thank you guys for sharing. I think this is a good, let's say, stopping point for this. Good luck in your manifestations. I'm not sure precisely. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Well, it looks like we're doing the Conscious Life Expo again, Mary.
Oh, good.
So like so it looks like I'm going to be staying in LA until the end of February now to see through the business launch and to do Conscious Life Expo. And then we also need more time to purchase the RV because we need more money down. So, things are taking more time than I thought. But I hope to be on the road in March. That's all looking good, and I'm super excited. So you guys have to tell me where you are, and I'll come say hi.
Sweet.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'll end up out there on the coast. Well, the Gilboas, I know I'll be up there soon. I meant to be up there early.
County.
Where are you?
In Orange County in San Clemente.
You're in Orange County?
Yep.
Oh, we need to hang out. I'm going to go shoot somebody. Well, that sounded bad. I'm going to go videotape somebody.
Don't do
Got to
it.
be careful these days. Yeah. No, that wasn't a threat. I'm going to be. Yeah, we should hang out before I get out of here.
Okay.
For sure. Or come see me at the Conscious Life Expo.
Okay.
Get you a pass or something. That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, be very cool. And I'll let you guys know when the next class is, but in my head, it feels like the second weekend of February is what my head is showing me. But I'll figure it out and send out the email after this class. Okay?
Are the old classes going to be uploaded, like the Step 8 and Step 7 class?
Yes. Actually, believe it or not, it may not look like it, but I have been migrating all the videos to a new server slowly over time, and probably by the next time, because I have some help with me now, I'll get them all up. I'm going to put them in a new format to where you can scroll through them easy and stuff. So the answer is yes. I'm working on it. I'm almost done.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you.
Love you.
Thank
Take
you.
care of yourself.
Thank
Keep
you.
manifesting.
Bye.
And everyone who's watching, I see we have viewers watching. I love you too. Thanks for showing up in the chat room. We'll see you next month. Happy manifesting.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.